Talib Kweli is one of the most important voices in hip-hop. The New York native has been in the game for a very long time, but not only is he a star on the stage, he also has a deep understanding of the history of music. I recently was in Los Angeles, had an opportunity to sit down with him to chop it up, to talk about hip-hop, its history, and the importance of music to our culture. See, on that point, this is where I think we talk about music. I think part of the issue is that, I think back when I was a kid, you could listen to your own shit. You in the car, or even when you at the house, my dad had the speakers up about this size. So that little bitty ass record player we had in the room didn't do nothing.
Right.
So we had to listen. And so for me, when I think about the music that I like, it really was because of that influence of hearing it. So my nieces, I'm playing Bill Withers. They were like, Uncle Roro, can you put that on our iPod? Only because they're hearing it because I'm playing it. And I just think that when the headphones came along now with AirPods and everything, you now got cats in cars at home, and the kids are doing their own thing, and they are completely divorced from where their parents are. So therefore, you don't get that mix of different genres and decades to sort of round out sort of your musical taste, your movie taste, or even your reading taste.
I completely agree. I never thought about it as being the individualistic experience of the headphones. Me being a burgeoning DJ, I've DJ'd silent discos before, where you have people who have the headphones on and they're tapped in with the DJ.
Now I hate those.
Me, I
hate
enjoy
those.
it. Because they're removing an aspect of the party that's necessary, the vibe.
I'm in Jamaica. They had two different DJs.
Yes.
And I'm like,
with the red light and the blue light.
And I'm like, what the hell we dancing to? What the hell we dancing? Your ass would love it, Tiffany. Tiffany Lofton ass over there.
Yeah.
And I hate it because one, the beauty of for me, the beauty of the party is we're all grooving to the same thing.
That's right.
The song changes. You watching cats dance. You watching to see how they respond.
That's right. You're feeling the vibration from the bass.
You feeling
under
it.
you.
Dog.
It's not just in your head. It's a full body experience.
My wife over there with a headphone. I was like, don't hand me that shit. She was over there just jamming. She's like, oh, this is a song. I'm like, don't hand me that shit. I said that at 8 then. I'm like, I'm not putting them here because I was like, this is not a party. You want to feel that thing.
A party has to be a tangible, full body thing. I gotta say, this is the blackest show I've ever been on. I appreciate the fact that you played reggaeton and Afrobeat and soul music while pulling out lotion because we can't be ashy.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a real black experience.
Oh, no. When I interviewed Glenn Turman, the first 10 minutes of the interview, we talking about ash. We do ash check.
Right.
Oh, no, we don't know.
You mentioned Glenn Thur. You mentioned Cooley High earlier.
Absolutely.
You got to know certain movies.
Absolutely. You got to. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, there's a rule, and you got to watch certain movies, and I'll have younger cats like, I wasn't born then. Matter of fact, Henry, what the hell we were talking about? Anthony ass had no clue.
Glory.
This some big. Here we go.
Right.
The 54th. Here's it. What's that? What's one? Oh, you out your damn...
Lord,
he didn't know what the hell we were talking about. Right. He had... No, we the 54th.
The single Denzel.
He had no idea.
The single tier?
He had no idea. Wait, hold on. Who was the artist and he thought it was... what was it, Harry? Jeffrey Osborne. He almost got his ass whooped on that one. He almost got fired on that one. That was sacrilegious on that one. Man, I'm just 35. I'm like, hell, I knew who the hell B.B. King was.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess we have to do a better job. We have to do a better job at making sure that people know. It is.
I do think it's, again, as you look at the generations that sort of went into their own cocoons, and I don't play it. When my nieces get in my ride, when they were growing up, you didn't have privileges. Because the deal is, my parents were like, especially my dad, this is what he told me. He said, this is when you know your ass grown. When you pay all your bills. So my philosophy, he said all, not like I'm paying all the bills and you pay your cell phone bill, like all the bills. So my whole deal is, when you get in this car, you ain't pay no note, you ain't pay no insurance, you ain't put no gas in the car. You have absolutely no rights and privileges. You get to simply reside here.
Right.
But you don't get to decide.
You get to experience and consume.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that someone who is a bully about the aux cord or bully about the radio, I feel like that's a sign of intelligence.
And I ain't turning my shit down.
I feel you. That's the Houston in
When
you.
I crank my shit up, Uncle Roro, we in the room. I don't give a shit. I'm ready to jam.
Right.
Look, we had when my dad decided to go DJ behind the bar, and that's the whole house was rattling. Hey, you get to suck it up till he decided to stop playing.
Right. A lot of
he
my
played
music,
Sexual Healing 45 straight damn times.
Right.
I was like, he's played that song one more time, I'm gonna break that damn record.
My musical career is built on me listening to the sounds that came upstairs from my parents' parties. Me trying to sleep through Function at the Junction.
Oh, you tried to sleep?
I'm trying to sleep through it.
We had the party. we would have get-togethers.
Right.
We live 8 blocks from my grandparents, and so we went to the same church. So it'd be a Tuesday, Wednesday night. Next day you look up, it's 25 people at the house. Food come out, drink come out, music come out. It's a school night.
Yeah.
So, and we were all there. My family was never kids over here and grown folks over here. We were all in the same place at the same time.
Now, my parents are both teachers, so school night was definitely it's a school night.
But that's where for me, I just think with music, it does drive me crazy when folks don't even have a wide palette. You know, I think I got everything on my phone except polka.
Yeah.
I mean, I got Caribbean, soca,
I feel
salsa.
like that's a byproduct of living life before the internet. If you live life before the internet, you understood, and you love music, you understood how much effort it took into having a great musical collection.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You understood
the crates.
It was a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, and you understood looking at those record covers and reading. If you're streaming.
And the 8 tracks.
Yeah. If Tiffany's listening to a song, she's never gonna know who produced the song. Because if you're streaming it, no one who's streaming cares at all about the producer. But back in the days, who played the drums, who played the keys, and then you could say, oh, this person played the drums on this record, in this studio, and then you start making the connections of why things sound the way they sound,
right?
And how sounds, whether it's the sound of Philadelphia or the sound of Detroit or the sound of Stax or whatever, you start to be able to be like, okay, and once that is removed, it's like you said with that individualistic experience. With people online, they don't know what that's like. Even with sampling, like sampling is an art form. But now you got who sampled. You can go online and you can Google the sample. It used to be like important, like currency to know.
The thing for me, when I think about the music, when I think about also the difference between, and this really has how the internet has changed, the difference between a song and the album. Because I've interviewed numerous artists and they talk about that there is a goal, there's a strategy, there's in terms of how the entire album comes together. And so if you're listening to track 4 and that's the hit, you don't really understand how track 1, 2, 3 played a role in that, and then the tracks after that. But the other thing is, it's also the beauty of listening to it from beginning to end, and then you really just understand how it flows. And that's why I think live albums, I think about Sam Cooke live at the Harlem Square Club. I think about B.B. King and Bobby Blue Bland together for the first time. Gap Band live in Atlanta.
Yeah, James Brown blew up after that live at the Apollo.
Boom.
They couldn't. He was trying to sell these singles, and they couldn't. Once they were able to hear him do what he do with his band, now people understand.
Because it was an experience.
Yeah.
Look, I come to LA. First of all, whether I'm in LA or not, I'm gonna listen to Frankie Beverly Maze live in LA. I actually like that one better than New Orleans. New Orleans was the one that blew them up. I like the LA one better because they changed up the tempo on a number of the songs that was slower than the one in New Orleans.
By the way, you look like you're ready for the concert.
Always not. Always. Don't be flowing with it. Always. And it's just a different experience. And that's why I just think for a lot of folks, and again, I get it, the hits. That's why I understood what Prince was talking about when he did not want to put his music online, because he wanted folks to understand the album, the whole deal. I get that.
Yeah, so I think at this point you have to make a decision on what your intentionality is. If you are the type of artist that wants to make an album, and I put myself in that group, you're doing that purely for the artistic decision.
Right.
It doesn't really make sense with the current algorithm in the market for you to be putting a whole album out. I had an artist on my show, People's Party. I need you on my show, by the way. Rapper named Hobson. very, very talented MC. He's not really known in a lot of circles, but he does very well for himself. And he made a point. He said, look, I could put out a whole album on Spotify, right? And the same amount of press I'll get for that album, I'll get more press if I put out one song or one good video.
Right.
And he said, and then I'll go perform. If I put out 3 singles, if I come to your town, I'll get more people to see me for 3 singles than for one album, and then I'm performing track 11 off the album, and your attention span is so short, you ain't even get to track 11 again. It's just not financially feasible. It's not financially smart for me to put out an album. And I get that. It's got to be an artistic decision, I think, at this point. But I think that real artists have to be able to make decisions that are not based on being products.
Right.
If you're making all your decision on making money and being a product, then you're serving a system that doesn't serve you.
You mentioned attention span. I posted this numerous times. It kills me. Like when I go to a party, I want to dance. I ain't standing around.
I think I know what you're about to say.
I ain't standing around talking. I don't drink, but I drink water, cranberry juice. I ain't looking. I'm not sitting on my damn IG story the whole damn party.
Right.
I'm ready to groove.
Right.
We were in Miami, and we stopped by. It was a Jamaican restaurant, but they were jamming as well. So man, they had the LED lights. So in our section, they had this LED light and it was white, bright as hell. I was like, yo. I said, give me that jacket. I covered the thing up. Security's like, no, you can't do that. I said, bro, this light jacking up the vibe. I said, you can't be trying to groove with a big ass light, bright light right here. He was like, okay. He's like, fine, we'll go ahead and leave. I'm like, yes. And then the section next to us was like, damn, I'm glad you covered that up, man.
Right.
That was screwing the vibe up. So the DJ, and it's DJ, so he's, for one, he was talking too damn much. I was like, bro, they were like, man, that's dance hall. DJ's like, no, I need you to shut up.
Right, no, that's a dance hall. That's dance hall hip hop style.
But it was
shout out to my man DJ Trace.
So he was doing
it like, look at me.
I even told the owner. He was like, man, you have a good time. I have a great time. Shut his ass up.
Right.
Let the music talk. But then it was every 20 seconds. He was cutting, or he would stop it, talk. I'm like, okay, we were like in the middle of the groove,
right.
and you can see the room. So you saw when he found the room was picking up, then more people getting up, and they get into it. Then you shut it down.
Right.
Now you got to restart it, and the folks kind of like, well, you ain't feeling the same.
That's a style of DJ, and what you're describing is telling me that he didn't do that style of DJing well. There's a style of DJ where the DJ is a personality, and you can stop the record and talk to the people, and the way in which you do it, that's an MC skill. Your skills at engaging the people, it doesn't matter whether or not you catch the right BPMs. I've seen DJs do that and change the vibe from house to trap. You do it to change the vibe and to do it, but what you're describing means that he wasn't doing a good job.
And it was just, because here's my deal. If I go home or to the hotel and my clothes are dry like this here, I'm pissed.
Right.
But if I got to peel my clothes off,
right,
hell of a night.
Are you a dancer?
I just hate when the party gets killed and the people are there and they ready to go and you can tell, but the DJ is not paying attention to the room. And I've just been in so many places where too many DJs are into themselves, into the playlist that they put together, versus how is the room responding to the vibe, and you got to be able to flip that thing. Yeah, I call it DJ school 101. So read the room. So I do a monthly. You a Texas dude? I do a monthly party in Austin, Texas. It's one of my favorite things to do at Native Hostel. And this month, because it's a free form party, all black music. Largely black audience, but it's dancers. People come to dance. So I get to play a lot of upbeat stuff, soul, disco, house, funk, that I don't normally get to play, along with the hip hop stuff that I feel like mixes with it, mostly upbeat stuff. This next week, Plug 2, Trugoy, Dave Jolicoeur from De La Soul, has passed away, one of my good friends. De La's family to me. And so I'm going to play a whole De La set. But the challenge is how do you play, I'm going to play a whole De La, a couple of hours now, nothing but De La Soul music. But I don't want to sacrifice the vibe of the party. Right. Now, luckily, De La Soul, early in their career, they sampled there's Commodore samples. There's Fonda Ray, Fat Rat, like Keeping the Faith. There's just Parliament Funkadelic. There's Knee Deep. So there's places I can go
like staples of black music that if I feel like maybe it's getting too lyrical, too underground, I could go into one of their more popular joints. But I've been all day thinking about how I'm gonna do this De La party because I don't want it to just be a show off of how much De La Soul music I know. I want it to be like, nah, we dance even though it's only one artist.
Hey y'all, welcome to The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network and hosted by myself, Rhea Baker, and my good sis, Jameer Burley. We are just two millennial women tackling everything at the intersection of politics, gender, and pop culture.
And we don't just settle for commentary. This is about solution-driven dialogue to get us to the world as it could be and not just as it is.
Watch us on the Black Star Network, so tune in to The Other Side of Change.
I was in San Francisco. I was speaking, and we went to Oakland the previous night, and then I hit my boy Mark Spears, who was at Yahoo, now held at Anscape, and shout out to Mark, his Hall of Fame award. So they had a party. It's an annual party in San Francisco, and it's only Stevie Wonder music.
Oh yeah, you're talking about DJ Spinner. The Wonderful Party. Spinner's a Brooklyn guy.
That party
started in Brooklyn. He used to do Michael Jackson and Prince and Stevie Wonder, but the Stevie Wonder thing.
That sucker was lit.
There's a legendary story of them doing that party in Los Angeles and Stevie Wonder pulling up to the party.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, Stevie Wonder pulled up to that Wonderful Party.
Yo.
Didn't tell nobody he was coming. Just pulled up on them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think there's some footage online of that somewhere.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is, I had, and again, they played nobody else. It was all Stevie.
You could play Stevie all night.
And the beauty
at a dance party.
And the beauty of that, for a lot of the folks, they were like, that's Stevie? And so when you have a DJ who knows the music, because the reality is, a lot of people, they don't go deep in the crates. They don't even know. And so you start, and it's like they may know 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, but if you play for 4 hours,
now when you go,
you gonna play stuff they don't know.
When you go to that party, he's playing Stevie Wonder records. He's playing Stevie Wonder remixes. He's playing house remixes. He's playing Brazilian samba remixes. He's playing records that Stevie wrote for people that you didn't even know Stevie wrote that song. He's playing even that. It's a very, 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 and you're dancing the whole time.
Yeah. See, I just yes, I'm a dance. Like D Nice knows. He says all the time. He's like, yo, if I'm DJing, Roller coming right to the dance floor.
Yep.
Ain't leaving.
Yep.
And he says he said, yo, I can tell how he's dancing, how the party's going. And I just think I saw documentaries on Studio 54.
Yeah.
And
I watched that.
Bruh, one, I loved it because I love when they were talking about how that sucker was popping so hard. Cats were walking in and just throwing their coat to coat check and going home without it. And they said, open that door and that sound hit and cats were just dancing. They sweating, they part. They said it was just a hardcore part. That's my deal.
That's where Michael Jackson was trying to go to party.
Yeah. I mean, it drives me crazy when you at a party, song hit, several people start dancing, and 30 phones come out, everybody record. It's like, enjoy a damn party. Dave Chappelle did something, I loved it. He did his movie at Tribeca Film Festival. Party was at I forgot a hotel later. And so Dave gets a DJ booth, and all these phones come out. Dave reaches over, stops the music. He said, if their asses weren't invited, they don't need to know what happened.
That's right.
Put them damn phones up. And that's why now he does the phone lockup at the party.
That's right.
He wants you to enjoy the party.
Yeah. I've been to a lot of those parties.
It's the experience.
Yeah. And there's a different thing when everyone's phone is off. We just did a Black Star show. We just did Saturday Night Live with Chappelle. And then we did a Black Star show at Sony Music Hall. And for the Black Star shows, we lock up the phones. And it's a different experience.
Yeah, because you're not trying to sit here and show everybody, you're not on your story, you're not sitting here. No, you're enjoying the deal. And that's just, I tell people all the time, there's nothing like, the beauty of being in that space and the music, and you're feeling it, and you're vibing off of other people, and you're just, and you got movement, you're enjoying it. Like, I can't do the static. I went to a spot with American Black Film Festivals in Miami, and I remember DJ Kyrie Irving was in the booth with the DJ. And I look on the floor, and literally everybody's on the floor, and they're all looking up at the DJ. They have their phones, and I went, "I'm sorry, who's he?" That was for one.
Right.
Then I said, "Ain't nobody here gonna dance?" Like, the whole experience was, let me watch him DJ. I'm sorry, I don't care who the DJ is. I am not watching him DJ. Let's get this in.
Right.
It was the weirdest thing. Just sitting there, and I was kind of like, the whole place. Nobody, it was just, we're just gonna stand here and watch spin. I was like, nah. I said, we got to move. And we left.
I mean, some people only go out to say that they were at the spot at this point. Yeah.
I saw, this morning I woke up and I saw this post from Lil Duval, and he said that Afrobeats is going to spell the death of hip hop. And I thought that was interesting, what he had to say. And I'm in the shower and I'm thinking about, what does he mean? What does he mean? So I'm listening to Afrobeats. And when I was at the All-Star game in Salt Lake, Cat played about 45 straight musics of hip hop. And literally I could not discern the difference between one song and the next. Yet when I saw his comment, here's why I think, love to get your thoughts. Here's why I think so many people are connecting with Afrobeats or connecting with the artists coming out of Jamaica, you know, the Caribbean sound. It's because it's distinctive. It's changing.
Yeah.
Even when I listen to hip hop from the 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, when I'm looking for, that Tupac song was distinctive from B.I.G. The B.I.G. was distinctive from Big Daddy Kane. It was distinctive distinctive. And so when it comes on, you know it, and it's not the same. I think that's just me. What makes it distinctive, and now I can groove in a different way versus stuff that's sort of just running together. Thoughts?
I think to the untrained ear, Afrobeat and reggaeton and other things that are not hip hop sound like that to other people. You are a music person. You understand music on a different level because of how your parents had music in the house. So you were able.
And I play in the band.
And you play in the band.
Cornet,
you're a
baritone,
musician.
horn.
And not only are you a musician, but you're invested in celebrating the diaspora. You're heavily invested in celebrating Black culture all over the world, internationally. So your musical sensibilities and your social justice sensibilities, everything makes you want to embrace Afrobeat. But if you're one of these nativist people, or if you're one of these ignorant people or people who have not had experience, you hear that, it just all sounds the same. It just sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook to you. Just like the same way a more old school hip hop person will hear trap rap or something that we call mumble rap, which I like the name mumble rap because it's funny, but it's kind of condescending. Because the people who listen to it, well, they understand it. It just sounds mumbling to me because I don't, you know what I'm saying? So to me, that's hilarious, but I think that Afrobeat is hip hop. You were just at the NBA, and so is reggaeton. This is communities that tried to break into hip hop space, and there was elitism in hip hop, especially in New York, and then later on in LA, and then now hip hop has been down south for a long time. And if you're not in that sound, we're not trying to hear you. So they're like, okay, we're gonna develop our own thing. These are kids who grew up listening to hip hop.
Right.
The Daddy Yankees and all those people from the reggaeton and the Bad Bunnies, those are people who grew up wanting to be hip hop stars. And it's like, nah, let's lean into our cultural thing. You had Burna Boy at the All-Star game. Burna Boy's first success was in South Africa, doing more straight up hip hop with an artist named Casper Neovest, who was just performed with Burna Boy at the thing. Casper's a good friend of mine. Casper's on my new album. I got a new record with Madlib called Liberation 2. I went out with my son and Madlib and Jack, Jack Brown, who's Miles Brown's father. Shout out to the Browns. We went out to South Africa and Zanzibar to just relax, and we came up with this song. I got Seun Kuti, who's Fela Kuti's son, on the hook. I got Casper on it, and we're talking about how Black people need to gather up and work together. We filmed the video at the Black Star Fest in Ghana with Chance and Vic Mensa. Shout out to Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa and Dave Chappelle and everybody who was out there. But back to your point, those guys were hip hop guys. And because hip hop in America, we kind of like...
Tribalism.
Yeah, we don't let people in. So then Afrobeat developed out of this and then took over. And now you got this Amapiano, which is sort of derivative of Afrobeat, a house, but this is blowing up in South Africa. And me coming from Africa, I've been in Africa for 2 months now out of the last 6 months. It's that Amapiano sound that's taken over from the Afrobeat. To me, my ear it still sounds the same. But the Africans is like, nah, this is different. This is just the new shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about all of it. And I'm excited to be at the precipice of it. And to me, it's all hip hop. It's time for the African music to have its time in the sun. You know?
Well, the thing is, when you talk about Africa, continent, 54 countries, it's going to be the youngest continent. I was in Liberia, and they had the 200th anniversary of the first freed slaves coming that created Liberia. So we're in the stadium, and dude, all of a sudden, like we're broadcasting, and then you would have thought some gunshots had gone off, how folks just start, like this whole side of the stadium start rushing to this other side. And security is like running, and we're like, what the hell is it? Again, we used to, in the United States, damn, did a gunshot go off? Like, what happened?
Right.
No.
You know, once one black person runs, we all start.
Boom, and right. And that's exactly what happened in Liberian Stadium. But it was actually these Nigerian artists that were coming up. And when they came on stage, like literally all these folks just rushed the stage. Security came, beating folks back. They beat them back, they rushed again. About the third time, they were like, look, we just,
we lost
wait.
this battle. Yeah.
But the thing is, so you're sitting here, and again, you're American, African-American, and your first instinct is, who is this? But for them, well known.
Yeah.
And again, that's part of the elitism of one, not having a passport, not getting out of the country, not understanding. Because when I go back to that Jamaican restaurant we were in Miami, I'm dancing. This sister walked up to me and she started dancing. She's like, I like your vibe. I'm like, whatever, we're dancing. Then the brother goes, so you know who this is? And then I'm like, no. So then he pulls his phone out. He's like, oh, she's a major Jamaican artist, almost 3 million followers. And I was like, you know who I am?
I love that.
And so, and she's like, oh my God, I'm following you right now.
Right.
I'm following you. And again, I didn't know who this sister was.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like I say, and I was like, it wasn't like she was trying to roll up on her brother.
Right.
Because I look at her profile, she came out as gay the previous year.
Right.
But her deal was like, I love your attitude.
like
you were
your
just
vibe.
dancing.
Yeah.
But we're standing there, and this is a major artist, and again, no idea.
Right.
Because we too many people here, we just don't get out and we don't experience other sounds and know who other people are. It's sort of like the Selena effect.
Yeah.
She gets killed. Dude, I was from Texas and didn't
She's
know.
huge in Texas. Yeah. I want to send a rest in peace out to AKA, who is a South African artist. And he's a very big artist. He was just gunned down last week. Very tragic in Durban, South Africa. And there's a lot of gun violence going on in South Africa. And I want to say rest in peace to AKA and his family. And it's because the guy that I have on my song, Casper, these guys had a rap beef years ago. And their rap beef sort of ignited the South African scene. And so Casper has a lyric on my new album where I'm talking about, going back to Africa. And he's trying to convince me as American to come back to Africa. And he's like, you're not going to lose your life here over some violence over your Nikes and your chains. And then me and Casper were on the phone talking about how unfortunate it was that this guy lost his life in such a violent fashion, and how American gun culture and violence in the music can sometimes influence people and stuff like that. And it's sad and tragic. And I'm glad that Casper and AKA got to mend their differences before this man passed. I want to mention this because me and Casper recorded this song months ago, And I didn't want people to get confused to think that what he was talking about had anything to do with what just happened to this young man.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. And right now we're accepting investors in our $17 million round to revolutionize the future of social media. Today, for just $399, you can own 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. While the big platforms have grown too massive and disconnected from their users, Fanbase is building a platform where creators and users truly come first. We've already raised $4.8 million from everyday investors who believe in this vision, and now you can join them. This is your chance to invest in a social media tech company with over 1 million users that is disrupting media by allowing anyone to reach all of their following and monetize their content from day one. The market is changing, big platforms are failing to serve their users, and Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now. Invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the future of social media.
What I just impress upon people, be willing to experience it. And there's nothing like experiencing it. And again, in that setting and you're hearing it, because I was in St. Kitts and again, we're just walking and I hear something, I'm like, and I was mad because I couldn't Shazam it. And so, and understand how crazy I am. So I couldn't Shazam it. So I opened up the voice memo and I just recording it. I'm like, I'm gonna Shazam it later once I connect it to a Wi-Fi. I mean, that's just the thing that to me that just is always, it's something that just moves you and it hits you. And you just gotta be willing to experience it. That's why I also think travel is just so great. You get to actually get out of your, I mean, I've been in Jamaica more times. Teacher. Morgan Heritage, I love their music.
Oh yeah, Morgan Heritage is classic. That's foundational right there. Absolutely.
So it's not just Bob Marley. And I'm like, yo, you gotta be able to, and I just think a lot of people just are unwilling to have that experience. And then what it then does is, it then opens you up to now begin to go beyond just the music. And now you begin to learn about other people, other societies, other cultures, other countries, and now begin to understand the other pieces that come out of that. And that's why, because the NBA had a panel, the Newsmakers Breakfast, dealing with what's happening in Africa. And the basis of what they're doing with NBA Africa. And my whole deal is, if that's your entree to the continent, you then get to understand all different things that are happening. So if that's what it takes, fine. If music what it takes, fine. And what I'm hoping is that for people who are loving Afro beats, they will now begin to see what is actually happening. You mentioned a Black Star Festival, Afrochella, all things that are happening. Ghana has I fundamentally believe that out of all the countries in Africa, Ghana has played this the smartest in that they understood the African diaspora. They used a year of return to introduce people. And now what has happened is they're now gaining the benefit of folks who are now all of a sudden coming to Ghana for the festivals, also for other things. And those people are now using their social media to drive all this stuff out. So people kind of like, yo, I didn't know it looked like that, had this, had that. I gotta go.
FOMO, people fear of missing out. People be like, how come I didn't go? And it's not without its problems. They have some work to do and they have some infrastructure issues like every other country that's been, dealt with the scourge of colonization. And
I had to remind some people at the dinner, I said, look, you talk about take Liberia out, but in terms of independence, Ghana's the oldest. That's the 58.
Yes.
I said, we're talking 65 years. We ain't talking a long time.
Yeah, the impact of Nkrumah has been very, very, very good. You mind if I take this for a second?
No, go ahead.
It's Chappelle. I don't want him to I'm telling him what I'm doing.
Dave!
What up? I'm here with Roland Martin. He said that's my favorite.
That's my man.
Wait, I'm gonna put you on speaker. All right, hold on.
You on the podcast?
No, we shoot my one-on-one interview for my network.
Oh, my man. Yo, what's up, Roland? How you been, bro?
All good, Doc. How about you?
Fantastic, man.
You still in New Zealand or Australia?
No, I'm back, but my body is still there. You know what I mean? I'm all kinds of jet lag.
Well, look, when you get your body back, we got to talk about that idea I sent you.
Yo, yeah, let's chop it up, man. I'm out here for a few days. How long are you here?
Oh, I'm here through Sunday.
All right, bet. Yeah, I think I leave like Friday or something.
All right, yeah, well, I got to give I'm here all day today. I leave tonight. I got to give a speech to the AKs in Huntsville, Alabama, that I'm back Friday morning.
Man, that joint you sent me the other day, bro, you've been killing that. I'll talk to you about it.
Okay.
So told me to call Kweli right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up on you as soon as I finish with this.
Yeah. Hit me up. I'm in Beverly Hills.
All right, bet.
All right, peace.
All right, babe.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to catch him for some notes on. We got a podcast together. Mm-hmm. Trying to finish up some episodes before I get out of here.
Yeah. What is shout out Blue Note?
That's my podcast without Dave. So I have a People's Party, which is just my show.
Got it.
And then I have Midnight Miracle with Dave and Yassine Bey.
Got it.
So we have a good time.
So for the folks who don't know, if let's take Ghana out. Mm-hmm. If someone is like, hey, I want to really visit an African country that has a great vibe, that they would love the experience, where would you tell them to go?
Well, for Americans, I find that South Africa is the good gateway entry point. It's the most like America. Apartheid is very similar to Jim Crow, so that people got similar experiences. And because of their proximity to white people, they have proximity to resources and certain things that Americans would just get acclimated with quickly. I find that you go to South Africa first, and then you start exploring from there if your sensibilities are just super American.
Right.
Now, if you want to go for a more what you might consider in your mind, I can't be dismissive of South Africans. Right. I can't say their experience is not African. But what I notice being someone from here.
Well, no, it's just a fact.
Yeah.
The white control of South Africa, they brought, and it is still there. And so the bottom line is, it's the closest. It's just no different.
Right.
So they are African, but the reality is they've only been in control of their country for a couple decades.
Ghana is a different experience. Nigeria is a whole different experience from all that. I've been to Ghana. I've been to Kenya, I've been to Nigeria, I've been to Tanzania, I've been to South Africa. Those are the places I've been.
I see you said Tanzania, and a lot of people, somebody was like, it's not Tanzania.
I don't think people really care. I think the proper way to say it is Tanzania, but I don't see anybody challenging anybody when they say Tanzania.
Well, because I was somewhere and somebody said Tanzania, and the person's like, that ain't it.
Yeah, that's extra. I try to say it for the right way, just for that fringe that's going to correction.
Gotcha. Where have you had just musically the most fun, where the crowd was just sick?
In Africa?
Yeah.
It's between Nairobi, which was some years ago, and South Africa. I just did Back to the City in South Africa with the guy who just passed away, AKA, he came on, and then the other guy who's on my song with me, Casper, he came on after me. But I was out there with Pharoah Monch, Keith Murray, who's been in the press wilding out lately. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Cheeks from the Lost Boys was out there. But we were the Americans. It was mostly South African artists. Mm-hmm. And it's a Back to the City festival, a hip hop festival that just takes over the city. There was fireworks. Mm-hmm. It was crazy, but it was real hip hop. And it felt beautiful, man, because I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my career in America. And sometimes I forget how tapped in, because I spoke to the black condition, and because I spoke to being proud of being African, and because my name is African, that I'm tapped in to those people, and there's a special connection there. And with Black August, shout out to Rosa Clemente and Monifa Bendele and Lumumba Bendele and the Malcolm X grassroots movement. In 2001, they took me, Black Thought, J. Rooter Damager, Boots Riley from the Crew. They took us out to Durban, Cape Town, South Africa. Dead Prez, we did shows all over in Soweto and the townships. And I've been going back and forth to South Africa for a number of years because of my social justice work. So that feels like home. But I did this club in Nairobi, the Ebony Lounge. That's just a small nightclub. But the energy in there was like, yeah, that was beautiful.
See, when you're talking about being up and down in the United States, but then how international operates, I think about several artists. One, Shalimar. The brother who he was the one who did the moonwalk first. Guy's name is escaping me. He when Shalimar broke up, he stays in England. Huge career over there. There's a thing called Anastasia. She's from Chicago. I remember seeing into the store on her, and they said she was a cross between Tina Turner and Janis Joplin. Love her sound. Never has caught on in the United States. But she has sold 20, 30 million albums in Europe. And she's never here. And like I follow on social media, she follows me. I'm always playing her music. And I'm like, yo, I just need to fly with this, want to see her in a concert. Kelly Rowland, Destiny's Child breaks up. She actually tried to get it going in the United States, didn't click. Goes to England, realizes they're still huge there. That's actually how she stayed in the mix and then came back here. Chuck D talks about it all the time. He's like, you can't ignore the rest of the world.
Chuck D's a pioneer with that because he got the rap radio, and he's been pushing international hip hop for a number of years.
I think he told me, he said they've had 60 world tours.
Yeah, no, Chuck has been on it from before the internet was a thing. Chuck was online starting internet radio to promote international hip hop artists. He's been a pioneer in that field.
But it's understanding that everything is not America. That there is a world, and you can make a ton of money, be huge, and folk in the United States go, what you been up to lately? And you're like,
I mean, that's the story of my life, bro. Like, my name, I have name recognition, but I tour more than any rapper, and it's a lot of overseas stuff, and it's like I'm going all over I've been to 80 countries in my lifetime. And sometimes I'll do interviews with people, and they be like, "So, what you been doing?" Like, nigga, what you been doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just came back from Belgium and Brazil and South Africa. What you been doing?
Right.
You know.
But again, I think that's because in what this country fosters is a mentality that if it doesn't exist here, if it doesn't jump off here, it's absolutely irrelevant. When we are literally that size when it comes to the rest of the world.
But the truth is that it's hard on the international artists is, well, if you do make it here, then you can go every place. So that's why people focus. But again, I do believe that even though that's a truism, that's a misplaced focus.
Why?
Because what you're doing is you're saying that the chart success and the Billboard success and the validation from the industry is important to you. You're saying that the fame is important to you.
Right.
And that's fleeting. I have 2 or 3 which you could be considered hit records by industry standards. But there are artists who have far more hit records than me that have to open for me in 2023 if we were to go on the road.
Wow.
Because even though you had the big radio hits, I've been putting in the work in these theaters and these clubs, and I got a consistent fan base. You had a fan base only when you had that hit out.
Right.
So when you had that hit out, you could go to the nightclubs and you could get $20, $30, $70,000 a night to do your song, rap it in the nightclub in the DJ booth over the vocals. Meanwhile, I've been out here doing these 1.5, 2-hour shows. I just came from the Blue Note. I just did the Blue Note with Bob James and Rakim and Slick Rick and DMC and Michelle and Degocello. We did 2 shows a night, 2 hours a night, 2 hours a show. Like, this is the type of stuff I'm doing with my band, and it's like, and then we had Buckshot jump up on the stage and Havoc and Smith & Wesson. It's like, we're building legacies out here to the point where we can always eat off this music.
There you go.
And whether we have a hit record or not,
there you go.
I have a draw and a fan base.
What's up, y'all? Look, Fanbase is more than a platform. It's a movement to empower creators, offering a unique opportunity for everyday people to invest in Black-owned tech, infrastructure, and help shape the future of social media. Investing in technology is essential for creating long-term wealth and influence in the digital age. The Black community must not only consume tech, We must own it.
Discover how equity crowdfunding can serve as a powerful tool for funding Black businesses, allowing entrepreneurs to raise capital directly through their community through the Jobs Act.
Like my new book is called White Fear. I'm really thinking about
White Fear?
But I'm really thinking about making my next book called White Validation, because I think in many ways that's one of the biggest problems that African Americans have. We're seeking that validation, the white validation. That's like the artists who crossover. And Tyler Perry and I had this conversation, and I'm like, when Tyler talked about building your own table. Tyler's deal is, I ain't trying to sit here and get white folks. You got an island in the Bahamas, got a plane, 250-acre lot, building this huge house.
Right,
that black people funded.
If I'm not mistaken, no matter what your race is, if you're in the industry, because the industry, really the pandemic and the finances moved to Atlanta, you've got to fuck with Tyler Perry if you're in the industry.
There you go. Yeah. So the deal, but the deal is, again, his whole deal is, I got my base. My base gonna rock with me, whether my movie's on Netflix, whether they're gonna be in the movie theater, whether I got my shows now on BET. That's why, the same thing for me. I had cats, when TV One show ended, bros like, man, I wish you would go back and get a show on CNN and MSNBC. I was like, why?
By the way, I gotta just give you your flowers for a second, brother, because what you do is rare. There's a lot of black people who get into positions that you were in at CNN and really mainstream positions. You were made yourself a part of the mainstream conversation, but you never sacrificed who you were as a black person, and you always kept the black issues at the forefront. Even like when a lot of our politicians get criticized when they get in position of power, people say, well, you're not doing this for black people. It's like, well, no, now I'm an elected representative of many different communities. You found a way to be a fantastic journalist and not sacrifice any journalistic credibility, but still be pro-black. And I feel like that's difficult for people to do.
Because I didn't lead black-owned media.
That's right.
People thought, oh, I had some cats, these little haters. Oh yeah, so you left CNN, and so now you start wearing African outfits. I was like, fool, I got married in one.
Right.
I said, long before CNN.
Right.
And it's like, oh, now you want to do black media? I'm like, fool, I did black media before CNN. And then when CNN called, I said, I'm not leaving black media. They asked me to leave. They asked me to leave TV One, Tom Joyner Morning Show. I said no. I said, why am I gonna do that? Why? Because I understood y'all can tell me no.
Right.
But I controlled my Tom Joyner segment. I control the TV One show. I could do it. In fact, when I interviewed Winnie, they hit me up and they said, we can't find anybody to go to Birmingham and interview Winnie Mandela. I'm like, all the damn correspondents and anchor. People don't say, I wasn't an anchor or correspondent. I was a contributor. I was one of the political analysts. And I said, bet. So go to Birmingham, interview her. I think we got 20, 25 minutes. And get back, call them, and they say, hey, we got a problem. What's the problem? They say, well, why don't you ask her about the trial she went through when she was accused of, I forgot what they call them, when they put the towers around the neck and burning folks. Now, and I literally said, why the fuck y'all can go talk to her?
That's right.
I said, I asked her what the hell I wanted to ask her.
Exactly right.
And they were like, well, we're not gonna run the interview. I'm like, all right. I went to John Klein, who was the president of CNN. I say, hey, your folks in Atlanta not gonna run the Winnie Mandela interview. I need permission to get the tape. I'm gonna run on my TV One show. Because it was their interview, they shot it. He was like, ain't no problem. We go to DC, they put that bad boy, flip it off of one of their tapes, record it on the tape for us. We air it. She dies in March of 2018. I'm in Memphis for preparing for the commemoration of King's assassination, 50th anniversary. So she passes away. We restreamed the interview. So the only reason anybody could see me interviewing Winnie Mandela is because I had a black-owned media outlet to run it on. Otherwise, that would be sitting on a shelf.
That's right.
In Atlanta, never ever seen by the public. And that's why.
Or even worse, they'd wait till she passed away and run it like they was down with it the whole time.
No, it would never run.
Right, because it's just been lost in the sauce.
ABC had an interview with James Baldwin in 1979. I think it was in 79. 79 or the early 80s. And they never ran it because the producer was like, who cares what this old black writer thinks? And the guy who worked on it actually talked about it. And all these stories were written about how there's this interview sitting there. They never ran it. This is James Baldwin. And I was corresponding with people at ABC. I was like, y'all should run that shit. Y'all got a Hulu. I said, the beauty now is you don't have to be locked into this linear platform.
Yeah.
No, fine. You put it on. It can live there. But that's somebody. That's a white producer who was deciding this content and this man is not important. So therefore, we're not going to run it. That's why having black-owned media and controlling it means I don't have to ask permission.
Same thing with that Aretha Franklin, that Amazing Grace.
Yep.
Where it's like, that should have been out. We should have been seeing that.
But that was actually the queen.
That was her.
The queen.
She didn't like the way it looked.
She would not let them release it. She would not, that was the deal.
Okay.
So I was friends with the queen.
Okay.
And yeah, the queen would not.
Because when I saw that, I was like, I was supposed to have been seeing this.
Bruh, right. It was, or the Dr. Questlove won the Academy for
The Summer of Soul.
Same thing. It's just,
Yeah.
and this is what I am constantly trying to explain to our people. Which goes to also what you talk about with music. When you are letting somebody else who doesn't look like you, who doesn't understand your culture, determine, nah, we ain't putting that out, then our culture loses out.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to seek the white validation or the fame and all of that, then you're in a situation where they're controlling what is in you. And that's what Prince was talking about.
Yeah.
He was talking about, no,
Yeah.
I can't let you just control what I'm doing and I have no say so, and great stuff is just never being released.
I used to see you around some of these Prince events, I think, back in the days, these parties and stuff. But I asked Prince to do a song with me. And I was signed to Warner Brothers at the time. It didn't cross my mind that he would have an issue with that. I wasn't even thinking like that. I'm just thinking it's Prince. And I developed a relationship with him. And I was like, we'd do a song. He was like, you signed to Warner Brothers, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, when you're not on Warner Brothers and when you control your masters and when you control your career, then we can do a song together.
He said, I saw it, Nas, same thing.
He told Nas, I saw that recently.
He said, you control your masters?
He said this.
No.
And when I saw Nas say that, he said that on Drink Champs or something. So Nas said, I said, he was saying that to all of us, which means he was giving us jewels and gems and a blueprint.
And that's the piece that I try to walk us through, because like when you said, if you're an artist and you got to make a decision and you're gonna sacrifice something. If you're putting something out because it's the art, you're sacrificing. Well, I could be making this over here. I could be doing this here. It's really the same way for me. I've advocated for black journalists to be hired on all these networks, and I got no problem with it. But what I keep saying to people is, love Robin Roberts dearly. She's making like 20, 25 million with ABC Good Morning America. But Robin got to ask permission. Joanne Reed, Al Roker, Gayle King. And so I think what happens is we get caught up in, oh, so-and-so has power. No, they have influence.
Yeah.
They have leverage. No,
Yeah.
power is when you can say, I'm going to Liberia for 10 days. We're broadcasting from there and ain't no conversation.
That's why I like my show, People's Party. We could just be like, pick up, we doing the Blue Note this week. Next week, we going down to South by Southwest. I might pull up with Nori in the Bahamas and do a mashup with Drink Champs, because he's an independent podcaster at this point. So yeah, having that is extremely important, and I'm blessed.
But what the people have to understand, though, and this is what I tell people all the time, there are things that you're not going to have, and you have to be comfortable with that.
Oh yeah.
You have to understand that. I remember I was at TV One. We were preparing to do something. There was a brother we were working with, and he had worked at BET on 106 in Park. And I remember we were in the room. It was me, him, it was Henry, and he was like, "Man, but if we were at ABC, we would have." I said, "Stop. We're not.
Right.
We're not at ABC.
Right.
So I need you to take that out of your head.
Take that out of your head. Yeah.
This is what we got. This is how much money we got. And we're going to figure out how to make this thing pop with what we got right here. And there's so many people who get caught up in that and not understanding the two things for me that are the most important, which I think that's all you've been speaking about, really. Freedom and flexibility.
And that's where the greatness happens at. The greatness happens where the impossible happens. When they tell you, this can't be done, and I don't know how we're going to do it, and you figure out how to do it anyway, that moment is where the greatness is born at.
Oh, absolutely.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
As an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol, we've seen
We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear. Funny when you mentioned just Prince. So Prince dies, and TV One is trying to figure out, are we gonna do a primetime special? And I was supposed to give a keynote that night to the Sacramento Urban League. And I'm literally on the side of the road at the airport on the phone with the president of TV One, Brad. And he's like, well, you know, he's like, well, what can we do? Okay. And then he goes, you think we're gonna be able to get some big names? I said, Brad, who the fuck you think you're talking to? I said, man, please. And so he's hemming and hawing, and finally I go, listen, we're doing a primetime special. Call programming department, adjust the schedule. Right. I'm turning it back around. Click. And he's like, I'm the damn president of the network. I'm like, but y'all, hemming and hawing ain't working. I gotta catch this flight. So I let him know I can't fly. Sacramento Urban League, I apologize, they were pissed. But breaking news, that's what happens when you're a journalist.
Yeah.
So we go to the studio. Man, so we're live. Got a couple of guests on. Cats start, they're blowing my phone up. And I'm like, what the hell? Control room tells me, hey, we can't call out. I got like 10 celebrities. Jeffrey Osborne, Howard Robinson, Pete, Aretha Franklin, Johnny Gill, they all waiting to get on. So I'm like, damn. So then I remember we used to do my Tom Jonas segment from the right from the set. So you said aux cord.
Yeah.
We had a cable, straight up, bro. I went, well, this sucker runs through the control room.
Man, I just seen you do this with the television. You know what you're doing, bro. You know.
Oh no. This what I literally plug up like I had 2 iPads and 2 phones. I call somebody on a phone, call somebody on FaceTime. I do the interview. While we live, unplug the cable, plug it into the iPad to do the next interview, unplug the iPad, plug it back to the phone to do the next interview. That's how we did the 2-hour show, because we couldn't get the guests on. You gotta figure that shit out.
Right. Now I was just pulling up footage. I was seeing if there was footage online of when Bill Withers passed away, and you had me call in. You just reminded me of that. And I was in the queue waiting to talk about our brother Bill Withers.
Well, luckily our stuff worked that night.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to sit here and do all the play. But that's the whole point is you got to figure that thing out. You got to figure it out and make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's the whole deal. So I I just really hope people understand what you're doing. I hope other artists understand what you and others are doing. What we do in media is you got one life. And your point when you say legacy, what are you going to leave people with? And there's nothing worse to me than to have a gift and have all this stuff in you, but it can't get out because somebody has already decided, no, it can't be done.
Yeah.
And that's waiting on permission. And I just think that's
right
so
there
deadly.
is the Black experience in America. You know, this bubbling cauldron of all this potential energy that people are like, no. And we decide which one of you gets to do it.
Or the phrase "for and no more," or whatever it is. That's crazy. So I'm asking you this, a couple more questions. Is there something that you have really, really always wanted to do, but you've yet to do?
I'm sure there is. That's a good question. I want to do a song with Bjork. That's something I want to do. I'm going to put that out in the atmosphere. Yeah, because I've been blessed to do songs with damn near everybody who I idolize. You, besides Prince.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Because you didn't own your shit.
yeah, I didn't know my shit. You know what I'm saying? I had to level up first. But it's particularly in the hip hop space. If you're a hip hop artist of a certain age, I likely did a song with you. And I collaborate with a lot of people. I feel like Bjork is the type of artist who, she doesn't collaborate with many hip hop people. I feel like she has a collaboration with the RZA, maybe, but she is someone who, when you think about her music, it's its own genre. You can't put it anywhere. And that's something that I not am envious of, but I'm wowed by. And so that's an artist that I want to do records with. My answer used to be DJ Premier, but I ended up doing another Texas dude, but I ended up doing some records with DJ Premier. I'm on that Last Gangster album, so I checked that box off.
So Bjork.
Yeah, Bjork, yeah.
So that's the artist question. Okay? Outside of music, is there something?
I'm sure there is. I want to travel more. I want to go. The only place in the world that I haven't been is sort of, you know, East Asia, Malaysia, Bali, places like that. I want to explore that place of the world. I want to go to as many countries as I could possibly go to.
Got it.
And I haven't been to all of them. I've been to a lot. I've been blessed to have been to so many countries that I'm like, well, how many can I actually get to?
Right.
Yeah.
Next question. Let's see how you answer this. This is not about a competition. I love how artists, how they pull things out from one another and say this person may not rise to the occasion. If it's and I don't want to say if it's a versus, but if you're on stage and you're on this side of the stage and somebody's on this side of the stage, who would you love, not battle, but who would you love to just for the purpose of the crowd, and it's y'all back and forth. Who would that be?
Well, the easy answer is Yasin Bey. Most Def. Black Star is a natural organic thing, and what you just described, I feel like the reason Black Star does so well is because we have that energy. We both bring something to the table, and we could go back and forth. But because we're already in a group together, my answer would probably be Common. Common would be my answer. I've thought about this when Versus, people ain't really checking for Versus like that no more.
Right.
But when Versus was a thing a year or so ago, and I would think about, well, who is it that I could do a Versus with? Yasin, Lupe Fiasco, maybe The Roots, in terms of my lane of music, but it's Common. Common is a bigger star than me because he's a movie star. Common has bigger industry success than I do. But when it comes to bar for bar, song for song on that stage, Common is someone who I'm not sure I could beat.
So that would.
But maybe I could.
But so what you're saying is that would also make you absolutely raise your game.
Yes.
That's like Dion having to cover Jerry Rice.
Yes.
And best on best.
Yes.
And it's like, let's go.
I'm not sure I could beat Common. but I'd like to try. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I feel like that would be a good matchup. I feel like for the fans of
Have you told him?
I've never said that to him, but it's interesting because I don't think I've ever said this publicly. Kanye, when he was on Drink Champs, famously dissed me. And the reason he dissed me is because he was upset at me because I'd be like, fuck that MAGA shit. And he was mad about it.
I remember.
He's mad.
And you were right.
Yeah, I'm aware. But the way the question was raised,
you're right.
The way the question was raised was Nori was like, in a battle, he said, who do you like better, Common or Kweli? And when Nori asked that question, I was like, yo, that's exactly what I've been thinking. If I had to do a versus, it'd be Common. So I'm listening to the answer. And Kanye goes, Common is 1,000 times better than Kweli. And he said that out of hate and anger, my brother Ye. Because first of all, nobody's 1,000 times better than me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You could be
damn, hold up.
1,000, like, come on, 1,000 times. But when Kanye said that, it was very interesting to me because I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm not the only one. When Nori asked the question,
right.
I'm not the only one who has thought about this before.
Did you hear Common?
We and Common have talked about some of Ye's more inflammatory statements, but we never talked about any type of like versus type of thing.
And again, it ain't gotta be versus. Y'all can do it. Y'all can do it.
Listen, Common was on the Black Star album. Common was my favorite MC for a long time. Common took me on Electric Circus tour. I opened on Electric Circus tour and I took Kanye on that tour. That was Kanye's first tour. So when you hear him on College Dropout, on that last song, Last Call, he says, Kweli took me on this tour. And it's because Common took me on that tour. And my first tour, rest in peace to Dave from De La Soul. My first real tour was Spit Kicker, which was rest in peace Bismarcky, De La Soul, Pharoah Monch, High Tech, me and Common. So it's like, that's my brother, man. Like, no Common slander will be tolerated around me. I will go to war for that brother.
I would love to see, and again, not someone opening, but literally on stage together and just back and forth.
Well, let me ask you a question. Because I saw you debating, if I want to call it that, this brother from Indiana.
Philip.
That's his name?
He in witness protection right now.
I didn't catch his name.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like I needed
Philip
to remember his name.
Somebody, remember I asked him, where's Philip? People like, we need to get some t-shirts made. Where's Philip?
What he did was so egregious and so wrong, and I'm glad that he had you to contend with. That wasn't a debate. That was a spanking. So who is it that you feel like you could be on the opposite spectrum of and debate respectfully who might give you a run for your money? And I say that because, look, I would never want to see you debate Candace Owens. You know, I'm looking at Mark Lamont Hill.
That's light work.
Yeah, debating Candace Owens, and I'm like,
it's light work.
You know, I saw Cornel West debating Candace Owens, and I'm like, but someone who you may not agree with on everything, but you intellectually respect.
Oh no! I've said it before, because we did a pilot. Was 4 of us at CNN, and she was on the pilot, and it was SC Cup.
Okay.
Because one, this is real interesting. So I'm faith-based. I'm a man of God.
Yes.
SC's an atheist.
Yes.
Then SC is conservative. I'm not. SC's white. I'm black. But also, SC is smart.
Okay.
See, most of these cats who are conservative, bruh, I can put them rhetorical body bag easy, but she's smart.
Right.
So you got to bring game. I've said this in several other areas as well. And SC and I, we talk every now and then. And I had a lot of fun. And I wish, first of all, how they did that pilot was awful. It was awful how they did that pilot.
It's crazy you saying that.
It was awful.
I did a pilot for LL Cool J's Rock the Bells Radio with me and Van Lathan and a conservative, and I don't even remember her name, but it didn't go well at all. And so I'm very interested in this conversation about debating.
Yeah.
This was a black conservative.
But most of them aren't smart.
Yeah.
So the problem is, it's easy to pick apart their arguments. And that's the thing for me. I wanted to be able to, my deal is, I want somebody across the table who's smart, who I got to really think, listen, and decipher. a lot of these cats, man, it's like I could be on 90 minutes sleep,
right,
and debate them, and it's not going to be any heavy lifting.
Right, they learn how to debate on YouTube, and
it's just, or they're just, or as they Captain Heat is afraid, they ain't deeper than mustard on a hot dog. You know, so that's it. Just so I've said for years, like I said, I wish they had because it was S.C. Cup, Will Kane, it was me, and somebody else. And Will, nice guy, but he lightweight. And I told him, I said, y'all, this need to be me and SC.
Right.
And in fact, when Van tell you this, so when they signed Van Jones at CNN, and they really signed Van Jones and Charles Blow because they did not want to use me.
Right.
And I told Van this. I said, Van, and I knew that. Right. Mark Whitaker, the other white executive, they like, yo, they went to me and they said, right. He's not going to become a star of the 2012 election like he did in 2008. I was told point blank, we'll say it in the meeting. So they got Van and they threw Van on the air. And man, SC is killing Van. So I called Van, I was like, say, bro, listen, look, they ain't gonna use me. They're trying to bench me. They're gonna put you on. You repping black people. I can't have you embarrassing black people. So Van, straight up. And Van told us publicly the Color Change 10th anniversary deal. Every night I would call Van, I'd be like, yo, I saw the segment. Dog, she hit you with this and this. This is how you gotta respond or whatever. And she was killing them. And so we would talk, and I would give them tips, I would give them pointers, how to look out for camera angles, hand position, everything. Because you like I said, guys, this is no different than any other art form. You got to learn this. And he told me, he said, man, see, he said, you at home sitting on the couch thinking you can do this. I'm like, no, it's a whole different beast when you're there, lights, cameras on, and you got 7 minutes to go at it. And you can't be sitting here trying to have a 3-minute comment. It's 7 minutes.
Van, whatever you taught him, that lesson was passed down. My most famous viral thing I ever did was arguing with Don Lemon and Ferguson. And
I remember.
Yeah, and if you watch it now, within 30 seconds, I walked off. I turned and was walking off, and I made eye contact with Van Jones, who was behind the camera, and he was like, don't walk off. Do the interview. Dude, don't let he was mouthing these words. Right. And you could see me looking at Van off camera. And then I turned back around, and I argued with Don some more, but I would have left if it wasn't for Van Jones. Yeah, definitely.
Well, that was one. Like I say, I was like, dog, she killing you, bro. I'm like, Van, come on, bro. And we would sit here debate nights. I would call him up. It'd be 1 o'clock in the morning. Right. I was like, yo, here's some tips. This is what I saw. Work on this. Work on that. But that's the piece there. So I've always, and that's the thing, man. It's to me, whether you're talking about what I do, what you do, or any other field, I don't get people who run from somebody else who's great, or somebody else who can make you better. To me, that's why I love the old school artists. Every time when I interviewed J.O. or Eddie Levert, he was like, oh no, he says shit. We go on the road, he was like us and the Spinners. And he was like, yo, we better go whoop y'all ass out there. He said, then one night, we'll sit here and kill it, or next night they kill it, and we come back, yo, we got to recalibrate this whole thing. That to me, like I don't get artists or other people who are like, no, I want somebody who's, I want to use the word weak, but I don't want somebody who's opening for me, who's not going to bring that heat. Yeah, I interviewed Jimmy Jam, and Jimmy Jam said, the time when he said, we put the heat on Prince so hard, he wouldn't let us tour. Right. I'm like, I don't get that. My deal is if you think you boss, I want you to bring all you got. I want you to bring everything you got to the point that you make it about the same thing with Common. I ain't gonna say I might not beat you. I'm gonna say I'm gonna beat you. But I'm gonna say like SC, I'm gonna beat you. But it's like, but that's what you want. To me, you wanna know how great you are. And you want somebody to bring out everything in you. That to me, I think is really what great folks should want.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta be in the room with people who are greater than me.
That's right.
Yeah.
To push you. Yeah. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Man, I appreciate it.
I appreciate
Great chopping up with you.
Thank you for keeping the space black.
Oh, always.
Definitely.
Always. We're going to do that.
Yes.
We're going to do it.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Word up.